Hello everybody, my name is Ben and I'm finally excited to show you my project I've been calling my super secret project for a while now, and that is my LEGO Dimensions 2 draft. Basically I've loved creating my own LEGO Dimensions games for like a long time. Like, I had an old Wikipedia page and I love putting them on there. I've had YouTube videos on this channel. I have so many notebooks from like since the original game was released. Just lists of characters and things that I think would be cool. And I figured now that I've started doing CMF drafts, why not just go ahead and draft an entire video game of characters? I ended up making this. So just a reminder, of course, this is not an official game, an official announcement about LEGO Dimensions 2 coming out or anything like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. So before I start going over the characters, I just want to go over a couple of ideas I have for the game. Now, if you don't want to hear this, it's going to be a little bit technical and stuff, so if you just want to skip to see all the cool character designs and stuff, I understand there's a time card above. Just click on that if you wanted to see the characters. But basically, my idea for LEGO Dimensions 2 is that I feel like the original LEGO Dimensions, it was super pricey. It was the most expensive Toys to Life game by far at $100. So my idea to make it a little cheaper would be that in purchasing LEGO Dimensions 2, you would get a smaller portal that just has enough room for one character that would attach to your phone, and the game disc, of course. So I have a rough concept for what it would look like. The Dimension portal would probably be on the other side, but the idea would be that you would, of course, scan the character on this portal, and it would come to life on the screen. This way it saves money on like all of the technology in the pad and all of the other stuff, all the bricks, because ideally it wouldn't be brick built. Another thing that is saving money on this, because one thing about this game is I'm trying to make it, honestly, LEGO Dimensions 2 Wave 2, it failed, to be honest. So I tried to go over that game and look at what I didn't really like about it and try to fix it. So I'm going to be doing that a lot here. And one thing is, I kind of feel like in LEGO Dimensions games, or the LEGO Dimensions game, it felt a lot like it was like you have to play as this character. You have to play as Batman, Wildstyle, and Gandalf, which of course those are the characters you get, but it's kind of like, why would I play a game that's designed to where I can play as any character I want from so many different franchises if I'm not even allowed to play as the character I want to play, because I have to play as the characters that come in the pack. And so my idea is that the new story mode is something called LEGO Dimensions Heroes. And how it works is, instead of the 3 characters that come with your pack has no characters. So that way, if you don't want Batman, Wildstyle, and Gandalf, you don't have to get them. You can go pick out your own characters. You just want characters from one theme or the other, go ahead. Go get those. And the idea for LEGO Dimensions Heroes is you would get to pick 3 of your own characters from your collection, or up to 3, and it would play a lot like the original LEGO Dimensions, except your characters would have no abilities, because another thing is it was a bit of a pay-to-win. If you bought a character that could fly, you could basically do anything. You got to skip half the levels. So instead, the characters have no abilities, and by completing levels, you earn pieces of equipment from these franchises. And another thing is you're trying to rescue these heroes that Lord Vortek and the bad guys have captured. So as you go along, you'll come across portals that you'll scan a figure on your toy pad, and you'll be able to add them to your team. And your team you can customize by giving them different pieces of armor. Say you went to the Undertale world. I'm trying to not give away the franchises yet, but Undertale was definitely in the thumbnail. So you go to the Undertale level, and you find a treasure chest. You would open it up, and inside maybe you'd find like Sans jacket or Metaton's boots, and you would be able to attach them to yourself. Should give you extra abilities, so that way it's not a pay to win, and it actually requires skill to complete the entire game. So yeah, that's a couple basic concepts for the story mode. But another thing is packs. So, whenever creating my own packs, I changed two things about how the packs actually work. So one thing, or I guess three things. One thing is I got rid of story packs. Why? Mainly because I'm trying to make this game to where it could basically come out any year within the next, 10 years or even, a couple of years back, and it would be able to be released. And story packs are made to where they have to be, with a new movie that's just come out. So it really wouldn't make sense for me to create some of those. And plus, I'm scared that they really didn't sell that well, especially for the $50 price tag. And I really want to focus on characters, because a lot of what you were buying in the original LEGO Dimensions was vehicles and gadgets and all that. So in this, you were actually paying for the characters, because level packs, some of them will actually have 2 characters now. So that way you get more characters when buying a level pack. As well, there's a new kind of pack called a party pack. And a party pack features 4 characters and 2 vehicles, because I really think, even though the vehicles are fun, and it's fun to see iconic vehicles and gadgets and things, it's really not what people are paying for. People really want to play as the characters, so it really doesn't make sense to me for this to not be something that's already in the game. So, party packs feature 4 characters. And now for the franchises. I'm going to start the franchises in just a second, but I do want to explain my choices for the franchises. Every franchise here was picked for a couple of reasons. One reason is because it was planned for the original LEGO Dimensions Wave 3 that was discontinued, obviously. Quite a few of these are canceled themes from that. Another one is I tried to pick... sorry, that's my dog. I tried to pick themes that I felt like would be very logical and would sell well for LEGO Dimensions. I feel like a lot of these that I chose are definitely ones based on what actually sold and what didn't, because honestly, I felt like in LEGO Dimensions Part 2, and a lot of people probably felt this, it started to be to where you could kind of see the bias of the people who were making it. Like, it was cool to see stuff like A-Team and Knight Rider and Lego, but it really wasn't something that, sold with demographics. So I tried to make this something that anyone would enjoy, and also I tried to appeal to kids more by doing more modern themes. Even though there is an older theme, there are some older themes. I did try to do some more modern themes and ones that are popular and people really know. And I'm going to have to let my dog out. But I think after that, I can get right into the themes. Oh, there's one more thing. Some of these characters I did choose because of my personal bias, but that's very few. So I'm just going to get right into the LEGO Dimensions Part 2 themes. The themes for LEGO Dimensions 2 are Undertale, World of Nintendo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Avatar: The Last Airbender, SpongeBob SquarePants, Psych, Pac-Man, Minecraft, The Beatles' Yellow Submarine, How to Train Your Dragon, Stranger Things, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Lego Movie 2, Shrek, and this would probably be the big announcement that made everyone go crazy, and that is Marvel Comics. Now, I was going to not do any Disney themes, but it just felt like Marvel is something that I've always wanted to happen. And I feel like they could work something out now that Disney Infinity is no longer going. And so I decided that Marvel could be in the game technically if they worked out a deal with just Marvel Comics to where these characters weren't based off their movie appearances, but were in fact based off of the movies. Not the movies, but the comic books. So yeah, now we're gonna get right into the characters, and I will explain the themes a little more now that we're here. And Also, these are not all the characters that would appear in LEGO Dimensions. This is going to be a series on my channel. This is the first episode where I'm just going to go over them little by little until I've created the entire game. Much like how LEGO Dimensions, the original, was released in waves, these videos will be released in waves, each one featuring more characters. So I'm going to start off with the level packs. So the first wave has 3 level packs, and the first one is for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, this is a theme that was actually canceled from LEGO Dimensions. It was going to be in it, but they took it out whenever they weren't able to make the game. So this is the only level pack here, I believe, that has 2 characters. And that is, of course, Aang and Zuko. I will list all their abilities with them. I don't have a list with me right now. I've written it down somewhere, but I'll just work on that whenever I edit the video. But you can read all their abilities right there. I'm really proud of their designs. I decided to go off of the Season 3 versions for both of them, since I've designed actual custom real-life minifigures for the Season 1 version of Aang. But I think they look really cool here, and the level would play through the final 4 episodes of the series, the Sozin's Comet episodes, and I just think that would be such a cool story to play through. The vehicle is, of course, going to be Appa, who I think looks really cute. His head looks a little squashed, but I still think he looks really, really adorable. And the gadget is actually not a gadget, but something that we're going to start with this, with the next game before it was canceled, and that is Connectables. Connectables was an idea to where basically there would be these things that you could connect to a vehicle, and it would give it new abilities, and it would kind of like build on top of it. And so the first one would be the Hot Stinker Catapult from Avatar, and that kind of goes along with Zuko. I thought that would be something fun to build, and that way this level would be really the introduction to Connectables, and it kind of explain how they work, since it is a franchise that people really like now, and a lot of people would probably pick it up. The next level pack I want to talk about is the Stranger Things one, which of course features 11, and I wanted to give... Now, each character in this is going to be almost, I think, unique. In LEGO Dimensions, one cool thing about it is every single character was either a unique figure or a very hard to find figure, like Slimer or Golden Ninja Lloyd. So this is a unique version of 11, different than the one in the existing Stranger Things set, because she's wearing her dress and she does not have her wig on, which I think looks really good. I'm really proud of the figure. And she has her waffle there. Her vehicle is the van. It's, of course, not her van, but I felt like that was such an iconic scene that she's a part of. So the Hawkins Lab van felt like something that would work with her. And then the gadget is Castle Buyers, which would have a new ability. Most of the gadgets have a new ability, and this one's would be the ability to hook up to something that would look kind of like the Upside Down, and you would be able to crawl through it and enter the Upside Down, change some things, come back to the normal world, and maybe have access something or something like that. So that is a Stranger Things level pack. It would play through the season finale of the first season. The last level pack is the Beatles Yellow Submarine one, which has Paul McCartney, and of course this one would play through the Yellow Submarine movie, and this is a Paul McCartney different than the one in the official LEGO set. I felt like this was a thing that made sense because the LEGO set sold pretty well, and some people couldn't get their hands on it, so this would be a cheaper way to get Paul and the Yellow Submarine. He has a little apple as his accessory, and a new hairpiece and coat piece. And his vehicle, of course, is the Yellow Submarine, which is probably one of the most iconic vehicles I got to build, and it was very, very fun to build. I think the shape just turned out perfect, which it could go underwater, of course, and the gadget is the organ from the Hey Bulldog fight scene. I thought that would be cool because Paul would be able to jump into the piano and sneak around, and Paul would also be able to turn into the other three Beatles. They would not have physical figures, but he would be able to turn into them, while 11 would also be able to turn into Dustin, Lucas, Will, and Mike, of course. And that is it for the level packs. Now, to start with the team packs and the party packs, the first team pack, which I feel like is probably the most obvious pack, and that is the Sans and Papyrus. Undertale is a theme that I am a little nervous about being put in the game, not only because of kind of its meme status right now, but also because Toby Fox is a little weird about having physical versions and like sold in store versions of his characters. But I think because it's a video game, he wouldn't really mind that much about it. And, I mean, he likes LEGO, it's featured in Deltarune, so I don't think he would mind too much collaborating with them. But Sans and Papyrus are, of course, the characters here, and since this takes place in the same universe where all my collectible minifigure series happen, they have to be new variants, which means that basically Sans is winking, and Papyrus has an entirely new body piece, which I designed that I'm really, really proud of. Their vehicles, of course, are Papyrus's car, which I think was really fun to make, even though it's not going to be the only red car in this series, of course. And then Sans has his tricycle, which I did make white, so that way one of the rebuilds can be a Gaster Blaster, because I'm sure people would really want for that to be one of the gadgets. The other team pack is the Pac-Man team pack. And people are probably going to say, Ben, you just want Pac-Man, and that's your bias because you love Pac-Man. And a little bit, yeah, but, I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was definitely the best-selling theme for LEGO Dimensions, so I really wanted to pad this one with video game stuff, and Pac-Man felt like a pretty easy theme to put in because Namco, I think, would really like having LEGO figures of him. But Pac-Man has pretty much the same design from his collectible minifigure series, but with a winking face, just like Sans actually, and Blinky has a new facial expression as well. Blinky can turn into the other three ghosts. I just thought it would be cool to be able to play as the ghosts as well, and this way Pac-Man could get two vehicles, similar to the reason they gave Jurassic World a team pack, even though nobody wanted to play as that weird other guy other than Owen in that pack. But Pac-Man's vehicle is his cart from Pac-Man Rally, or from Pac-Man World Rally, which I had a little trouble deciding on what to give him, but I felt like that was a pretty iconic racing game, and it looks pretty cool, so he has that. And then Blinky's gadget is actually the Pac-Man Power Pellet. I gave it a little stand that's based off the Pac-Man maze. But really the only important thing there is the pellet, which is it is a connectable. So you could give it to a vehicle, and then for a certain amount of time, it could kill enemies with one bite, I guess. And it would turn them all blue, much like the actual Pac-Man Power Pellet. The first party pack, I think, is the most obvious party pack, and that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. Party packs are weird because they're going to be like $30, so they're probably the most expensive pack. So I wanted to pick things that people would want to pay that much for, and I feel like having 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is something that people would pay money for. So Donnie, Leo, Mikey, and Raph are all here, and I gave them new designs based off a combination of the 2012 show and the 1980s show, which I'm really, really proud of how they all look. I will give you a little bit more time to read all their abilities as well. And then their vehicle is the Shell Razor from the 2012 show, even though don't worry because the party van will be implemented later in the series. And their other one is the Turtle Sub, also from the 2012 show, which I think just looks so cute. I'm really proud of that build. Now, for the last type of packs, which is, of course, the fun packs. I'm going to try to go in the same order as I did with these other packs, but since I'm doing it by pack, it is kind of odd. So I'm going to start out with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Our first fun pack from that is the Sokka fun pack. I think he looks really good. He has a new hairpiece. There you can see his abilities. He has his boomerang as an accessory, and his vehicle is the Fire Nation blimp he designed. I thought that would be something cool to include for him. There is one more Avatar fun pack in this series, and that is Katara. There will be some more at another point, but she also has her Season 3 outfit, and she's bending some water, which I think looks pretty cool. Her vehicle is the Water Tribe boat that a lot of members of the Water Tribe use. One more fun pack that also has a corresponding level pack is the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, who I think is the only villain, other than Blinky, is the only villain here. I tried to include a lot of villains in this series, which you will see as it continues. I will show off more and more of the villains, but I think the Demogorgon looks really cool. He is one of the characters that is pretty much an exact replica of his official minifigure. And I also think his toy tag looks the best with the upside down Stranger Things logo and the portal to the upside down, but his vehicle is in fact the Demodog, or the earlier form of the Demogorgon. It's a little weird for him to be riding that, but whatever, I think it's cool. From Undertale, there is one fun pack in this wave, and that is Frisk, who I wasn't actually sure about including in the game, but I felt like since, they're the main character of Undertale, it felt kind of weird not to. I think one thing that would be very cool for their abilities is that you could spare enemies or kill them, and killing them would give you new abilities, such as super strength or cutting vines or things of that sort. Their vehicle, or not really a vehicle though, but you still kind of ride him around, is Flowey. I'm really proud of how his build looks. One thing you might be wondering is, even though I talked about how Marvel would be a really big deal for this series, I haven't shown off any Marvel characters yet, and that is because in the original LEGO Dimensions, they really saved off a lot of their big hitting franchises, such as Sonic the Hedgehog in number 2, or like Ghostbusters in number 1. They saved them until later, so there would not be many Marvel characters in the first wave, or any Nintendo characters. That's why there's none of those either. But there are 2 fun packs, and the first of which is the Thor fun pack, because I'm just really proud of my Thor. Again, it's based on comic book designs, but it is also slightly inspired by the in-game version of Thor. I think he looks really cool with the Aquaman hair and a brand new version of Mjolnir. His vehicle, or actually it's a gadget I'm really proud of, is actually the Bifrost. It's Heimdall's sword, which you would be able to create portals and teleport around using. And it has a little bit of the Rainbow Bridge, and I think that's probably my favorite build that I've made. The other Marvel fun pack is that of Iron Man, who is another character I'm really proud of. He reuses the print from the newer Iron Man helmet, but he has a brand new body or torso and leg print, which I think looks super cool, and he has some of the newer blast pieces to represent him blasting. I think that looks really cool, and his vehicle is of course the Hulkbuster, which there is another character I was originally going to give this to, but I felt like Iron Man and the Hulkbuster, it just goes together perfectly, which is, I think, the only mech here, but there will be some more in the future, but I think it ended up looking pretty cool. I have one last character that isn't a fun pack, or any kind of pack really, and this would probably be the character that comes with the starter pack, and there will be polybags of it and such, and that is the custom character. Now, here's my idea for the custom character. You would go and you would buy polybags that have this blank figure and a very blank bottom piece, and you would open the game and there would be a character customizer. You go into it, you create characters out of pieces from the LEGO Dimensions characters you own, as well as if you've completed missions, those character parts you will be able to use. And basically you can create whatever kind of character you want and save it to the toy tag, much like how you do with vehicles, and then you can play as your own custom character. And I think it would be cool if it also came with like stickers or extra pieces that you could put on the toy tag and make it look extra special. But yeah, I do believe that is it. That is the entirety of my LEGO Dimensions concept draft game thing. Thank you so much for watching. I would like to know what characters you would like to see in LEGO Dimensions and what themes and things. I pretty much have all the characters planned out, but if you have any other characters from these themes you'd like to see, tell me, and I could think about them. I still got time. I don't know when the next one of this video series will come out, because this one took quite a while. I've been working on it for a couple months now. And now that I'm going to be starting school next week, it will probably be a while. It might even be next year by the time I finish another one of these. But we'll just see. Thanks so much for watching. I will continue to work on this project, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.